So, hello everybody, and welcome to a podcast, the podcast, Think Savvy, Think Social. And today we have...
Jon. Sorry, was it time for me to say
Yeah,
who
this
it
is
was?
you, this is the
Hi,
introduction.
Jon.
Hi, my name's Jon and I'm an alcoholic. So I'm Jon Asquith from ActionCOACH.
Brilliant. Tell us a bit more about what you do, Jon.
It's interesting, good question. So I do a range of different things depending on the types of people that I'm involved with. The easiest way to explain what I do is I help people perform better. So whether that's a business owner that's looking at getting better results from his people, whether that's salespeople looking at increasing better results from their own individual performance, or whether that's teams that just want to get more engaged on values and things like that. Ultimately, I'm a coach at heart. So yeah, that's what I do.
It's good. It's pretty clear you're quite passionate about it. How did you get into it?
Oh God, long. So I was accosted into that job. I ended up into a little room like this, and then 15 years later, I was in a bit of a bigger room. So I got offered a job as what was at the time an office junior. Right, this is how I got into ActionCOACH.
Dare I ask how long ago that was?
It was a long time ago. It was so 2004. 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
So an office junior. So I went to this job and I thought, yeah, this is all right. This is good. Like it. It actually turned out to be a telemarketing role. But anyway, that transpired, and then we ended up in an office in Derby. And all of a sudden, I was this telesales person that was making 200 phone calls a day, speaking to as many people as possible. That became my job. And it was for a company called Action International at the time.
Okay.
So back in those days, it wasn't even ActionCOACH, it was called Action International before they changed their name because people thought they were a charity. Which we are not a charity.
No.
Just to confirm, we are not a charity.
Just to confirm, definitely not.
No, definitely not a charity.
No, we're not a charity. So I went from being a tele-salesperson to a salesperson to a sales manager to a localised sales director to eventually being the... head of sales, the sales director for ActionCOACH in the UK. So I was overseeing 230 officers up until December.
Okay. What changed?
They sacked me. No, I made a decision. It was probably in 2017 that I wanted to work a little bit closer to home. I wanted to focus on companies that were closer to me and also close to the heart as well. It's great working with companies and working with offices in St Albans and Hertfordshire and Wales and Scotland and Tunbridge Wells, but then going into the city centre and seeing closing down sale, it sort of didn't feel right.
Wow.
So in 2017, I kind of made that decision that I wanted to start that transition, and eventually started that transition last year. So as of the 1st of January this year, we officially opened our office in the Sheffield city centre.
So you now are actually a coach yourself.
Coach myself, yeah.
So in theory, for your previous job was helping ActionCOACH as a company.
To grow, yeah.
To grow.
Ultimately, yeah. So helped develop and grow that business in I would say from sort of 2013, 2014 maybe, up until 2013, wow. 2012 maybe. God.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, I think we had about 70 officers, and we helped. I helped grow that up until 230 over that period of time.
Brilliant. Do you have a favourite part
Of
coaching? Do you have a favourite element of what you do?
It's a good question. I like, and this might sound a little bit sadistic, I do like applying pressure to people.
I believe you.
Yeah. You'd be on the end of that from time to time, because at that point in time, you're going to get a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So without applying that pressure, you're never going to get the breakthrough that you want. And it's easy to go, well done, and pat someone in the back. But when you apply that positive pressure to really get the result that you want, everybody wants the outcome. But I actually enjoy the middle part. That might be a little bit sadistic of me. I'm not too sure.
Is there a process to it then? So is there a process like, I'm going to introduce myself, now I'm going to give you a bit of shit, and now here's the result.
Yeah, so we've discussed our shit sandwich before. So I'm a big believer in a shit sandwich, but there is a coaching philosophy. There's many different coaching philosophies, by the way, but everybody sort of identifies to their own. So I'm very much of a challenging coach. I'm very much about results, but I also like relationships as well, but not at the detriment to results. I don't want to have expensive conversations with people. And lots of coaches will fall into that. That's not a bad thing, because some people just generally need a conversation from time to time. I'll happily have a conversation, provided that it's purposeful, it's meaningful, and it's results orientated.
Yeah.
We can have a beer afterwards.
Yeah.
I'd sooner you say, got some great results this month, then let's go and have a beer.
Yeah.
Versus having a beer and you telling me
Having a
what
chat
results
over
you
it.
haven't had.
Yeah.
I think that's my whole like LinkedIn approach as well. That's why I don't like all those wishy-washy, hey, we got mutual connections, I just like to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Drives me mad.
So yeah, results orientated, I would say, that really separates me from a lot of people. I want results before anything else. Once we've got results, we can build a relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
And the right type thing.
Prove your worth.
Yeah, absolutely. From day one.
Absolutely.
From day one.
So what, I mean, you know, you there's got to be like a financial incentive as well as to sort of why you've made that decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you know, knowing of you what we do, there's a mission behind everything that you're doing.
There is, yeah. So I would say that the decision wasn't money orientated. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it really wasn't driven by money. You imagine being the sales director of a national company. You don't go home wondering how you're going to feed your family. It's not a bad position to be in. It was more about I didn't love what I did anymore. I didn't love it.
Okay.
I fell out of love. There was a part of me that went to work, did a good job. I put my all into it, and but I didn't go home feeling fulfilled.
Yeah.
I didn't go home going, I was really happy about what I'd accomplished that day. There was always a void. And I could have had a great day.
Yeah.
I could have helped lots of people, but I'd have never gone home going,
I've really
happy,
enjoyed it. And,
really happy what I did today. There was always more. I couldn't switch off.
Yeah.
So the selfish element wasn't about money. It was more about being able to switch off, being present at home more as a father and as a husband.
Nice.
Because that's really important to me. You know, I didn't want to go to my daughter's graduation and be looking at the phone wondering if everything's all right and do I need to do this and do I need to do that. And I wanted to be able to switch off. And at the same time, notoriously, for the last sort of 10, 12 years, Sheffielders, we've not been that good at business. You know, if you look at the headlines, there's not many championing small business in Sheffield. You look at the retail sector, most of it's closing down and stuff like that. And I'm a passionate Sheffield boy. Easy for me to say. I'm a passionate Sheffield boy.
But I think what I like about you is you've got numbers.
I do, yeah. I do.
You've got numbers aside your goals. Do you want to share them with us?
So yeah, we want to empower 10,000 companies in the next 10 years, which ultimately will transform the lives of 100,000 people, because that will directly impact 10 people within those organisations.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean,
so 10 years, 10,000 companies.
That's our fundamental number one.
Yeah.
In all the workshops that we deliver, set numbers aside your objectives.
Yeah.
Because then they become real, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, and I just think that so many people don't.
Yeah, I think that also comes down to a value of mine, which is congruency. Big word, so let me break the big word down. It means practicing what you preach.
Yeah.
So it's really easy, and you'll see this a lot from coaches specifically about saying somebody needs to do something. Well, I'll never tell somebody to do something if I'm not prepared to do it myself, or two, if I'm not doing it currently.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have a Monday morning meeting every single week. We ascertain what went well the last week, what didn't go so well, what areas we need to improve, and how we're going to do it. And fundamentally, we'll always ask the question: is this helping 10,000 people grow the company?
Yeah.
And if it's not, well, we're not going to focus on it.
Yeah.
Because if it's not doing that, then if it's not pulling us towards the goal, then naturally it'll be pulling you away from the goal.
Yeah, yeah, and that's important to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we found that even our meetings that we have in the team, having time aside out of your day, a week, whatever it is, just to have a word with the team and let them know where you're going.
So important. And fortunately, I've got a great team behind me. Yeah. You know, people will sometimes say that I'm too humble, but I'm really not. My team make me look better than what I actually am. So Cheryl that looks after all the office, takes care of things, and I've got Ed, who's my rain man. You know, who systemizes everything and just creates great processes for me that make me look better than what I actually am.
Yeah. So what about Jon personally? What do you like to do?
I'm a family man at heart. Anybody that knows me will know that I'm infatuated with my kids. They are the light of my life. They get all my time. So if I'm not in the office, and so if I was to tell you what I did last night, I got home early because I promised my kids I'd get home early. So I got home at 4:30 yesterday. I played hide and seek till 5:30.
Brilliant.
No word of a lie, right? You should have seen our house afterwards. It was a little bit ridiculous. So Cheryl was involved as well. So we all played hide and seek for an hour. So we teamed up. So it was me and my youngest.
Oh.
We were a team, and then Cheryl got the oldest because she's bigger. She's harder to hide.
Yeah.
So I was getting the youngest in some crazy places. But we obviously won. We then played Monopoly, I think, for an hour and a half. We played Buckaroo. So I'm just a big family man.
Yeah.
So if I'm not pissing about in the house, I'll generally be like in the woods or doing something with the kids.
I love it. I'm a big kid at heart.
Brilliant.
So it's like I probably got the mentality of a kid.
Yeah.
Probably a bit like you as well.
Yeah.
I also agree.
But that's why I've got a team.
I am
Because
great at hide and seek as well. I will find the best places.
we should have a game.
I feel
Break
like
the
there's a
rules.
competition for me.
I've always said adult hide and seek is probably going to be the best.
Oh.
So in a big office building like this.
Yeah.
Imagine how cool. You're probably going for like 3 hours.
You'd be
Reminds
lost
me
for a
of a
week.
movie.
Yeah, I'd be there. I'm committed.
Yeah.
Once I'm in.
Yeah. We might
Get
have
some
to.
snacks.
Adult
Be
Tag.
fine.
Have you seen the film?
Adult Tag, yeah, it's a great film. I could
what a
do that.
film.
I could do that.
I could.
So yeah, I'm either pissing about with the kids, but I am a little bit selfish as well. I do like a nice car. I do like a nice watch. I do like a nice house. I do like nice holidays.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my career enables me to do that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. I'm the same as you. I'm like a big kid at heart, and every Sunday evening, for some reason, it's my time with my little daughter.
Yeah.
I don't get much time at home. I'm kind of I want it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I don't get much time at home. I'm here at 5:30, and I'm home at like 7 o'clock. They're in bed. Bless him. So she paints my nails.
I see the posts.
I know. And I just turned it into content. I thought, do you know what? I do have a life, so this is what I do, and I just
The
reflect.
next time that happens,
Mhm.
I'll share a picture of what happened to me a few weeks back.
Please do.
Okay, so I'll comment. The next time I'll see your pretty nails and I'll show you what actually happened to me a few weeks back.
She told me it's purpley sparkly.
It was. Oh, you should see.
Purpley sparkly.
You should just.
Did you have makeup on?
Oh God. Yeah, it was horrendous.
I'm not that brave.
It was horrendous.
You unfortunately aren't quite that old enough yet, so
Yeah.
I've got
It's
a
coming.
bit of leeway.
It's coming.
You go first. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah, you go
It
first.
took me about a week to get off. Actually, so I was face covered in makeup, like the Joker,
Brilliant.
but worse. And my daughter was like showing me.
But not as
What
professional.
do you think? I was like, yeah, it's incredible.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
And I couldn't get it off. So I was sat in a meeting the following day. Right, I was training a group of probably 35 people, and I had this is going to be difficult because it's a podcast, but I had somebody looking at me like this. But do you know when somebody's looking at you, but they're not listening to you, they're looking at you.
And you know what they're looking
Yeah,
at.
and they just went, your face is covered in glitter. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's a long story. But it's okay, don't worry.
It's fine. I enjoyed it.
Your face is covered in glitter. It's like, yeah, it's all right, don't worry about it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it was a rough day.
Yeah.
Rough day. Courtesy of rainy. Thank you.
So, what about those other people, much like myself?
Yeah.
Okay, that have a family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is what you help them do.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Well, yeah, part of it, if it is. I mean, not everybody's there, right? So everybody's got a different value set. And just because my values are to get home at 4:30 doesn't mean that your values should be. Your values are your values. My job is to ensure that you hit your potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And for me, potentially is all about reducing distraction and interference, increasing your skills, making sure that you've got good targets in place so we can really push forward. And my job is ultimately accountability.
Yeah.
It's that person that's going to ask you that question. Have you really done what you need to do? What is the extra 5%? What does the extra 10% look like? And how can we make sure? And giving you that focus.
Yeah.
That you can really get that done in the next week or so.
Yeah.
I always say that whenever I work with people, I'm never about saying, you will not achieve anything unless you work with me.
Yeah.
But you will. My job is about taking 10 years and cramming it into 2.
I think David's just wrote down on here like a question, but I think you kind of answered it in a way. Why should you have a coach in your life?
You shouldn't. Again, there's lots of people that say you need a coach. Well, you don't. If you're not where you are, the chances are that you're not going to get where you want to be unless you get some external help.
Yeah.
That could be a coach, it could be a mentor, it could be a consultant. The real question that you got to ask yourself is, how do I know if I need a coach?
Right.
And that is, are you dissatisfied with where you are? Do you know where you want to go, but you're not entirely sure how to get there?
Yeah.
Well, if the answer is, yeah, I know where I want to go, but I don't know how to get there, or I am a little bit uncomfortable, or I'm not happy with where I am, then coaching will probably help you.
Yeah.
But you can't help a sinking ship that's prepared to sink.
Yeah. There's got to be something.
You've got to want to be helped.
You've got to want to do something different. I can't be more passionate about somebody's results than they are for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Right, because then I'm too committed.
Yeah.
That's about me. It's not about you. So I meet people and they go, look, I'm not where I am. I'm not where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're committed to do the work, then great. I'm in. And I always say to my clients, if I'm working with you, I'm in. I am thinking about you.
Yeah.
I'm in. So you've got to be more.
But you've got to be too.
More than me.
Is there any throwaway advice that you can give people in business right now? Things to sort of...
You don't know it all.
Yeah.
You don't know it all.
Self-awareness, understand who you are.
So naturally, companies are run by three types of people. So you have a technician, somebody that's very good at what the business does, right? The hairdresser runs a hairdressing salon. The mechanic starts a garage. The tyre fitter starts a tyre fitting business, right?
Yeah.
So technicians, good at the technical aspects of their business. You have the manager, that's normally the middle manager that is disillusioned working for a lunatic, right? Fed up of doing all the work of a crazy person and going, you know what, I can do this for myself, right? And then you have the entrepreneur that just has a knack of making money out of stuff, right? Goes, you know what, that's a good money making idea, and she will just go off and do it. Yeah. They've all got fundamental skill sets, but also fundamental flaws. So the technician is very difficult. They don't know how to sell, recruit, build, multiply their business. They're very good at what it does, but you take them out of it, it sort of crumbles. Yeah. The manager's good at the nuts and bolts of the business, right? So good at making it work, but again, not very good at what it actually does and bringing in new business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the entrepreneur generally just creates chaos because there are always 4, 5, 6 ideas in front of everybody else.
I definitely know
right?
one of those people.
Yeah, we all know.
Which one are you?
I would say I was the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I would say I was the entrepreneur. But I'm not a true entrepreneur at heart. So for me, a true entrepreneur is somebody that has multiple businesses working for them. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things that really frustrates me. The 21st century entrepreneur is someone that's got an idea.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's not an entrepreneur.
That's not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, that's somebody that's monetized something that is working whether they turn up or not.
Yeah.
That's entrepreneurialism. But anyway, going back to the original point, there's those three people. So the first thing is, do you know which one you are?
Yeah.
And then get yourself in watch out mode. Mm-hmm. So who are you?
Yeah.
Where's the gap? So are you a technician? Okay, so where's my gap? Am I going to have to recruit resilient people that are good at selling and multiplying the business?
Yeah.
Do I need to educate and get that self-awareness that I need to improve on those things? Am I the entrepreneur that's always 6 steps ahead of everybody else, not realising that everybody behind me is frustrated, but also not understanding that I'm frustrated because not everybody's with me?
Yeah.
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 And how can you get all that working together? So, the first thing is work out who you are and then work out, mind the gap.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen,
that would be a takeaway.
I know we're kind of low on time for you, and I really appreciate you actually at the end of a busy day.
Busy day today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good, yeah. Very
good. Afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'm massively grateful for it. If anybody wanted to get in touch with you, how did they do that?
So because obviously we work with a social media giant, you can get us on all the social channels. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Jon Asquith on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook, which is at Jon Asquith on Facebook. Our website, which is sheffield.actioncoach.co.uk. Take a look at our stuff. Our YouTube channel as well, which is Jon Asquith on YouTube. We've got tons of content out there, so we're a big believer that if we put the right content out there, people will naturally gravitate towards us. We're not a rebellious organisation that'll do that much, but if you want to work with us, you'll definitely find us. So have a look at our channels, have a look at some of the information and the content that we publish out there, and if some of it resonates, definitely send us an email and we'll have a chat.
And has anybody ever said that you look a little bit like Thor?
Do you know what? I do get it from time to time. A funny story, right? So before I got the beard, I used to
look so different without that as well.
Yeah, well, I used to wear glasses, right? So
have you got a picture?
I'm not going to show you a picture. I just want you to use this as your imagination.
Can we have a picture later though? Because I want to put it on the video at some point.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of me with glasses on.
Brilliant.
And it was an inside joke that I used to look like Alan Carr Chatty Man. So just imagine me without the beard.
I can see it.
Right, okay.
Sorry, but I can't.
This was a joke that, pardon my French, really pissed me off. Because obviously you want people to go, you look like Chris Hemsworth. You don't want people to go, Did anybody ever tell you that you look like Alan Carr? But anyway, I went to Amsterdam with the wife. We went to Amsterdam, so we're in this boozer in Amsterdam, having a drink. It was having a great time.
Nobody asked you for the autograph.
Oh, no. It's even worse.
Okay.
I walked down the steps. Bearing in mind, I'm in a foreign country here, right? And somebody bangs into me, and I turn around to say, I'm sorry. And he turns around to all his mates and goes, look, guys, Alan Carr's in Amsterdam. Hooray! And he starts jumping up and down with me. And I had to say, no, I'm not Alan Carr.
Wow.
But thanks ever so much. That's when I started growing a beard and said, I don't care about the frown lines. The glasses are coming off. So yeah, I realised I look like Chris Hemsworth, but I also realised that I look like Alan Carr, Chatty Man.
Brilliant story.
John, their birth child.
Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks a lot.